Ho ho. Alright. No, Chad, I'm impressed. That game has a surprisingly more depth than I expected it to. Like, there's a lot of different cards, there's different effects. There's some aspects to it that are, like, simple to understand, but I'm honestly just impressed of how varied the game kind of ends up being. And I want to see more cards. Those shoes were great, though. Because getting those shoes, getting one increase to movement allowed me to gain control of both mana towers up top and bottom on turn 2, which was insane. That kind of helped a lot. I still lost. I still fucking lost in those conditions, but it's fine. Alright, chat, so I was supposed to level Satori up again. I didn't do that. So I guess we're gonna go fight Price. We're gonna go fight Price. Yep, level 57. And then we're gonna head to Olivine. So there's a pretty good chance that ice types are weak to fire. Except I don't know what Letty is weak to. So, yeah. Alrighty. Let's go into the gym. Yeah, game's pretty fun. Game is pretty fun. I will play it again to see more cards. I'm learning. You know what card game I played? It wasn't really a card game. You ever heard of Monster Monpiece, chat? Monster Monpiece. It's not very good, I will admit. It's very simple. And unfortunately, it's one of those card games where the variety drops off really fast, and pretty much every match you play against, like the AI in the story mode, you're just basically fighting the same deck over and over and over again, because there's such an obvious progression of good card that there's really little reason. There's pretty little reason to use like other cards. The game originally released on Vita. And you could use it utilizes the back touchscreen on the Vita. Because what you had to do, you could upgrade your cards. And the way you upgraded your cards was you turned your PS Vita horizontally. And you rubbed it up and down on the front touchscreen and the back touchscreen. And you rubbed the girls, and then they powered up. Yep. It's not an especially amazing game. There was online for it. I didn't even bother. I knew that based on how the story mode went, that if you actually went online and actually found somebody playing that game online, there is no chance in hell that they were not running something that A, you've already seen 1,000 times, or B, are going to see 1,000 times. Also, there's a couple bosses that have legendary monsters that you actually do not have access to until you beat the game. I know. There's a couple really, really good cards that are really strong, but you don't have access to them until you beat the main story. And it's just a matter of compendium collecting, but it's not really worth it. I did beat it. I got all the achievements. I have it on Steam as well, because it's on Steam. Because I saw it on Steam and I was like, oh shit, I remember that game. I never beat it on my Vita, and I got nostalgic for it. And it kind of... It's one of those games where the sunk cost fallacy definitely hit me at some point, because I was like, this is like the same game over and over and over, but like, you know, I'm this close to, like, I'm this far in, I might as well finish the fucking thing. Also, a bunch of the cards got censored, and by censored, I mean that basically when a card upgrades, the card art loses more clothing in it. And so there are a number of cards where the final upgrade just doesn't change art because it strips too much clothing for our our poor North American eyes. So cards that will transform. Well, what's interesting is that some cards, like normally when cards just upgrade, it's kind of a thing where stats go up, mana cost goes down. But some of the cards actually had stats go way down, but they gained utility and support skills. But honestly, some of those cards kind of sucked. Like, I didn't want a support skill. I wanted you to do fuck-ass loads of damage. So it wasn't even worth to fully upgrade them, some of the cards. And I know you can do strategy, but you don't need to really strategize against the story AI, because the story AI doesn't give a fuck. You're not strategizing, you're hitting them with big numbers until you overwhelm them with force, because that's what they're doing to you. You can go look at the game if you want. The art's pretty good. It's all monster girls. Y'all like monster girls, right? I basically just spammed the, like, there's 4 colors, there's synergies that you get when you summon the same color. There's a little bit of strategy to it, but effectively you have 3 types of units. You have physical attackers, ranged attackers, and defenders, and you got mages. Mages that do magic attacks or support, and they heal, and they can do things from behind, and they just kind of walk in a straight line. It seems fascinating. It seems pretty fascinating, and it's not that, it's like, it's pretty fun to play for a little bit, but the issue is that the game drags, and then, like I said, there comes a point where the variation in decks is basically non-existent, so every single fight you get into is the same deck. The same endgame monsters that aren't just flat out post-game that you have to keep going through, and then at some point you're gonna collect them, and you're gonna use them, and it's just gonna be mirror matches, and then, like, that's just how that game goes at some point. I have to pull open the game to see my cards, but I know I used the cockatrice, because the cockatrice at level tier 2, she was cost efficient, she did 5 damage, and she had like 1 HP. But I didn't care if she had 1 HP, I just did 5 damage. That's all that mattered to me. I usually just ran the gauntlet. I did use dragons, because dragons had like 7 HP and 4 attack or some crazy shit like that. They were pretty easy to summon too. Like I said, it's cool in theory, but in practice, I have to imagine it'd be more fun to play against humans, but I also don't think it'd be very fun to play against humans, because I think that humans would develop one strategy and only do that. I remember Christian had he had a Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds game. He had a Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds game on DS. I don't remember what it was called. But I do remember him telling me that, like, every time he played online, he had to fight Blackwing decks. Every single time he played anybody online, he had to fight a Blackwing deck. And that was it. That was your entire online experience. You either build a deck to counter Blackwing, or you play Blackwing yourself. But, like, I don't want to play Blackwing. I don't want to counter Blackwing. Like, what's the point of playing competitively if the only thing you're allowed to do is either play the meta deck or play a deck specifically that fucks the meta deck? At that point, what's even the point of playing? You're not playing anymore. That reminded me, chat. I actually watched a video earlier today. And by earlier today, I mean when I got home. Without, like, basically, about the Chaotic game. You remember the Chaotic, the show, the card game? That shit's coming back. Did you know that? That shit is apparently coming back. Yeah. It's coming back. Chaotix is coming back, boys. You excited? He meditates under a waterfall. However, the company that they partnered up with to produce the cards, they're more known for their I'm sorry, my brain is very smooth. They're known more for the collector aspect of cards. And you know, I'm sure you're aware of how cards are in this day and age. What am I doing? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I may I'm actually having difficulties here. I think I might need a nap. I think I might actually need a nap, like now, post haste, because this is embarrassing. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. I don't know what to do. I honest to God do not know what to do. Oh shit. Oh, this is tragic, dude. What the fuck? Go behind left statue. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. That's kind of my problem. I see the tile I have to reach. I do not know how to reach it. That is my current problem. Oh. There's a tile behind both statues. I don't know. Oh, there is. Oh. Okay. That explains a lot, doesn't it? That was embarrassing, but that's okay. I'm usually pretty good at slide puzzles. I'm usually pretty good at those types of puzzles, but not today. Call it what you want. I don't really care. Why is he dressed like that? Level 74. Okay. Watch this. I have crashed. First, cover yourself in oil. Alright, step 1 complete. What's step 2? Alright. Christmas Kasume is ice fire. Fuck her up, Yam. Fuck her up. Kill her! Yeah! What? What? How are you faster than me? Unfortunately. That's fine. I could have went for a stun spore, but I think this is the smarter choice. I didn't think Kasume would be faster than me. I simply did not. Good job, Yam. You did your best. You've collected information. Information that says that Earthquake will kill her. There's no way you're faster than me. Oh, you must, are you wearing a scarf? That's ×4, by the way. I just killed myself. I'm not dead! Wow. Are you scarfed? You have to be scarfed. There's no way you're that much faster than me. You're in a fucking sock. No, wait, you had a Salic Berry. I forgot. You had a Salic Berry. Oh my god. See, you see? I have brain damage. I have brain damage. I forgot things that happened 5 seconds ago. 5 seconds ago, I forgot my brain. I have a dent in my head. I probably should have used the other one for this. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna think that counters the play. Okay, watch. That's gonna do 182. It did 119, so I'm gonna do 238. You made me. I could have just crashed into her and been done with it. Well then, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna click Destiny Bond because I'm an asshole who doesn't want to play anymore. Because either you try to set up on me, and it doesn't matter. That's not gonna kill me. Alright, now our fates are one. You can do whatever you want, but you're dead. Sonic Boom. Nothing like a well-earned victory. Nothing like a well-earned victory. I am impressed by your prowess. You have strong will. No, I have a Waba. Oops. Used to help clear whirlpools, but those has long since calmed down. Now as time has passed, just another trophy. When the ice and snow melt, spring arrives! Destiny Bond is such a fucking Pokemon move. What a fucking move that one is, am I right? Like fucking, oh, you use this move, if your opponent kills you, they also die. Ha 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 ha. Great. It's a very effective tactic. However, be that as it may, Pokemon started with a move that lets you fucking explode. So like, I guess it's not that surprising. What is it? The fucking like Japanese name for self-destruct is like fucking human explosion or some shit. You can just explode. Your Pokemon's allowed to explode. I'm cleaning up, so you're not allowed to progress the game. Like, Pokemon's always been hardcore in that sense. I mean, 3 of the 4 one-hit KO moves were invented in Gen 1. Falling into a fissure, getting a guillotine, or getting horn drilled. Like, those are all pretty fucking hefty moves, dude. Those are hefty. That ball is rolling. I'll keep Moko up front, I think. It'll be fine. We're heading to Shanwood. I always want to see the lighthouse in person. Unfortunately, my job eats up all my time. What's a man to do? Take a vacation? Take a day off? Idiot. No. And overseas. Mega kill. Oh, I'm starting to feel it in my eyes. We really need 2 normal type one-hit moves. Yes, because the context of them is important. It's the context of the move that's relevant here, not necessarily... It's not necessarily... Like, Pokemon didn't really start caring about min-maxing what shit did until later on. Ow. Back then, Pokemon just fucking made shit that was, like, thematic to the world. Now everything has to be usable in battles, because competitive battling is a thing that they actually, support. But back then, we were clicking Razor Wind and Spike Cannon and Slam. No, we weren't. No one was clicking Slam. Die. Many of the multi-abilities are Gen 3. The multi-abilities are mostly Gen 3. And again, they're thematic. The difference between Insomnia and, Vital Spirit is literally non-existent. They do the exact same thing. However, they have different names because it wouldn't make sense for some Pokemon that have... Like, it makes sense for them to have an ability that prevents them from sleeping, but it wouldn't make sense for the ability to be because of something like Insomnia. Like, Drowsy having Insomnia makes sense. Drowsy having Vital Spirit does not make sense. Alright, let's take a walk on the wild side. That's also why Medicham has pure power and not huge power. Because apparently huge power is some kind of rabbit pun or something. Which is why rabbits have it. But then Medicham also has it, but Medicham is not a... Medicham's not a rabbit, so they changed the name. So it's not the same ability. It is the same ability, functionally. But Medicham technically has a unique ability. Ah! Vitori. There are other ones as well. I can't remember them, though. There are other ones. I can't think of a single other example, but I know there's at least one more ability that has the same name as another ability. Or a different name, but does the same thing. Oh, right. Filter and Solid Rock. But that was Gen 4. That was Gen 4. Filter and well, actually, was Filter in Gen 4 or was Filter added later? Battle Armor and Shell Armor. Yeah, that was probably the one I was thinking of. No, I don't remember Filter existing in Gen 3, but or actually, now that I think about it, neither did Solid Rock. Did both of them come out in Gen 4? Or was Filter Gen 5? I can't think of any Pokemon that has Filter but Mega Aggron is the thing. Let's work a bit different if we give it another Pokemon. Pokemon, one of them will be weaker. What? You talking about pure power? Mr. Mime has Filter. Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. Why would pure power and huge power be different? They both double the base attack, don't they? They do the exact same thing. Unless you're saying that specifically the double is something else. Wimp out an emergency exit. I mean, I guess that counts. I guess that counts. But that one is probably that one is the exact reason we're talking about, actually, because it wouldn't make sense for Golisopod to have Wimp Out as an ability. It wouldn't be a problem if Wimpod had the ability Emergency Exit, but they just decided to call it something else. But then they changed the name to make it sound cooler, but then it's the same fucking thing. He just leaves the battlefield. Tay. Dazzling, Queenly Majesty, and Armor Tail, mechanical differences. What the fuck is Dazzling? I know what Queenly Majesty is. I know what Armor Tail is. What the fuck is Dazzling? I can venture a guess what it does, but who has that? Oh, yeah. In Puppet Dance, it's called Glamorous. Bruxish. What? Really? Why? You know what? Maybe I don't care why. Maybe I don't care why. Pokemon like that get abilities like that, so they have some form of something. I don't mind unique abilities and unique moves. I think they're cool. I think they're quite fascinating. But I do think that some Pokemon pretty much exist as a mechanical gimmick, and they live and die by their mechanical gimmick. Nothing else about them is allowed to be good if they have a gimmick. And if they are good, then they're good. But like it feels like with modern Pokemon, whenever they make a new Pokemon, it has to have some kind of gimmick. It can't just be a creature that exists. It has to do something to make it stand out from others. Whether or not it actually does stand out is a different story altogether. But yeah, every new Pokemon has to have something that makes it unique. Whereas back in the early days, some Pokemon were virtually the same Pokemon, and it didn't matter. They had movesets, they had stat distribution, but they didn't all have random unique moves or abilities, right? You gotta look at the weird Pokemon that they advertise. What about, did Flamigo have a unique move? I don't remember if Flamigo had a unique move or ability. What about Spidops? Welcome, how may I help you? Well, in Spidops' case, like, he's kind of an early route bug. I don't really know what he does aside from Sticky Web, to be honest with you. Oh, look at that, Pinch Berries. Buy a couple of those in case I need them. Hidden ability Co-Star. What the fuck does that mean? Landsat Berry. Star. Enigma Fruit. The star sharply raises one stat in a pinch. Could be funny. That's the Enigma Berry. A berry that you get when you get all gold symbols in the Frontier, Gen 3. You get one. Wait, there's more over here? Well, I can see things, but I don't have access to it. Copy stats changes a partner Pokemon entering battle. Oh, so it's a turn 0 Psych Up. And only Spidops has it? Yeah. Ow. Bow bow. So, here on the Moo Moo farm where they sell milk, we have a Momiji and a Chen. And it's run by a Nitori. Enjoy our fresh and tasty milk. No, that's on Flamigo. Oh. So Flamigo has a unique ability that's virtually useless on him. Okay. Chen brand milk. How's it taste? I don't know. I only drink Sunny milk. Crash, bang, boom. And it's hidden. Well, it's not so fucking hidden when we're talking about it now, is it? Chat, give me an example of a Pokemon that tries way too hard to be unique and it's just not an interesting Pokemon. Go ahead. This is your time to shine. Give me a Pokemon that's trying really fucking hard to stand out, but it just doesn't, because it's just a piece of shit. Cramorant? What's wrong with Cramorant, man? Cramorant, like, tries to swallow Pikachus. Bruxish? Cherim. You know what? I actually agree with Cherim. I agree with Cherim. Cherim is a weird Pokemon because the only time you see one is when Gardenia sends it out without Sunny Day active. And it's just like, what the fuck is that? Like, you might not even know that motherfucker got a form change and a unique ability that creates all these effects in Sun. But it's just like, this fucking thing is useless. Castform, he's pretty useless. Zeraora is good in competitive. The other Pokemon mentioned are not good in competitive. Zeraora is a good Pokemon. It also has a unique physical electric move that's actually good. Defense Layla. She's in a chair. Castform sucks ass. Zora kind of sucks, but he's not terrible. He's also got a movie, and he's got a Hisuian form. They got a Mega. Wait, there's a Mega Castform? You're lying. That's not real. What the fuck would a Mega Castform do? Oh, Zeraora. Oh, okay. Well, Zeraora is only popular because it's a bipedal animal. It's a bipedal anthropomized animal. That's why it's popular. It was gonna be popular even if it sucked, but those Pokemon aren't allowed to suck too much. Alright? They're not allowed to suck too much. Zeraora feels sauceless. It's because Zeraora is not real. Zeraora is just kind of a random, like, legendary they made in Gen 7. Made it an electric type, gave it a physical move that actually let you use it. If it didn't have, like, a signature physical electric move, it would probably still be a good Pokemon, but, like, who the fuck cares? You know, in the anime, that thing doesn't even really exist. It exists in the Ultra Beast world. Because there's a couple episodes in Sun and Moon where Ash gets transported to Guzzlord, where Guzzlord is Guzzlording it up. And then, he runs into Dude with his Zeraora, and they work together to fight the Guzzlord. And then Ash goes back to his universe. I think there was a shiny Zeraora as a giveaway for something, but I don't use Pokemon Box. I've kind of given up a long time ago about preserving my Pokemon through the generations. I think it's just because I'm fucking lazy. But that was definitely a thing I did a lot, where I'd always move my Pokemon up the generations. But now my Pokemon are wherever the fuck they were when I decided it was not worth doing that anymore. I don't care. I don't play the game. I don't play the game competitively. I still like Pokemon, but I'm not trying to carry around things. Now, what was cool was that in Oraz, if you transferred up a Pokemon originally from Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, you actually got a certificate that was like, wow, look how far this guy's traveled through time. You get a neat RSE inspired like certificate that basically just says like, wow, man, this guy traveled very far to get here. He went through multiple generations. He went through Pal Park. He went through Gen Transfer. He went through whatever the fuck the Gen 5 to Gen 6 thing was. I don't remember what that was. But yeah, you go through all that, you get to Oraz, and the game gives you a little certificate with their Gen 3 sprite. It's cool. We know from leaks that it was planned from the original Pokemon Z. Well, that's why it's called Zeraora, because it's you know, it's the Z. That's why when it does its fist moves, it makes its arms. It's, you know. And also the electric Z move is also very synonymous with the letter Z. But Pokemon Z is not real. Zygarde is dumb and stupid, and no one likes him. Nobody likes him. He shows up as a dog, and then you're just like, man, you can't do anything. Xerneas can one-hit KO you. That monkey fella was in a movie, right? I didn't watch that movie. His name is Zarude. He's a dark grass type. He's got jungle healing. Is he good? I don't know. I don't think so. But I don't care. I don't really care. He's a big monkey. His signature moves have cool fucking names, though. What? You mean the Let's Go Pokemon? You mean the Let's Go Pokemon, right? You better watch what you say, or I'm gonna hit you with a baddie bad. Careful. You don't want to get hit by a baddie bad. That was Flail. Means Zygarde. Zygarde has like 5 signature moves, doesn't he? That dude has like 5 fucking signature moves at this point. What do they want from this fucking Pokemon? He turns into a Zeppelin in the Legends game. He becomes Mega Zygarde. He just gets a giant missile, which he throws at the giant plant tower. She's glowing. He's got 1,000 waves, 1,000 arrows. What was it? Core Infuser? I don't remember what it's called. He has a move. He has a signature Dragon type move that if he goes second, it's basically Gastro Acid as a 100 base power attack. If he goes second or hits a switch in, then it nullifies their ability. Like, they love that fucking Pokemon. Core Enforcer, yeah. He certainly sounds cool, but he didn't really get a lot, does he? The last Pokemon movie I think I watched, if I watched it, was the Diancie one, and if it wasn't that one, it was the one before it. Actually, I think the last one I might have watched was the Keldeo one, and I did not enjoy it. I did not enjoy it, and I did not want to watch anymore. Beanie, 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 beanie. I was never really partial to Zygarde. I was never really partial to him. He's okay, but like I said, I don't think anybody really knew what they wanted him to be. He tried to be a lot of different things, and it seems like they like him a lot, but like, I don't know, man. He ain't doing it. He ain't cut. What's his motivation? What's my motivation? Can you give me an example of Pokemon favoritism for a Pokemon that didn't come out in Gen 1? Right now. Can you do it? The only Lucario? Okay, that's my fault. I made the bar too low. Greninja? Yeah. Greninja, Lucario. Garchomp? I don't think so. I don't think Garchomp is that promoted. I think he's very popular, but he's not as promoted. It just feels that way because he's accessible in like every game, and he's getting a Z Mega, whatever that means. She has Levitate, so. I thought his new Mega wasn't out yet. I thought the Z Megas weren't available yet. Gardevoir? I want to say no, but you're actually kind of right. At least within the last like 5 months, or maybe it was earlier than that, or later than that. They did make they made the Pokemon shorts with the Gardevoir. They made the life-size Gardevoir plush, so they definitely pushed. They pushed. Were they wrong to push? I don't know, I don't have one. How did you see me? Sylveon? No. I don't know if the evolutions are really pushed that hard. I know Eevee is. Eevee's kind of like the second mascot. But, like, I'm not sure if Eevee's different forms are really... Like, unless they're obviously, if it's the whole gimmick is them all together, then yeah, but Eevee's the main focus of it. I am in pain. When did Eevee's popularity start taking off anyway? Like, I'm not gonna say that Eevee was never like not popular, but at what point did it feel like Game Freak really kind of buckle down and be like, all right, we're pushing Eevee. We're pushing Eevee. Kids love Eevee. When did it happen? Eevee's always been a neat Pokemon, but I don't remember it being that, like, comparable to others in terms of, like, you know, Pikachu. What do you think caused it? Maybe it was Sylveon. They definitely used it to promote the fairy type. I just don't have any particular examples of when it caught on. But again, it's not like Eevee wasn't popular or anything like that. But she's kind of being pushed to the similar level to recognizability as like Pikachu. I don't think any Pokemon is as recognizable as Pikachu, mind you. He's basically the Mickey Mouse of, you know, he's basically Mickey Mouse levels of known. Kisume. But he is up there. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked because we're talking about Gen 1 again. We're supposed to be talking about Pokemon that get, like, pushed and promoted and used a lot that aren't from Gen 1. To a degree that makes you think. I'm not staying in, I'm staying out. Are there any starters that have, like, an overwhelming slew to them? Aside from, you know, Charizard and Greninja, I guess. When I was younger and Black and White was coming out, the hottest starter was the grass starter. Because people decided his name was Smugleaf. I thought Smugleaf was a really fucking stupid name. But wow. Wow was he popular. And wow did he suck. Incineroar? I don't think Incineroar is being pushed by anything. I just think he's a really good Pokemon in doubles. He's not being pushed by Game Freak specifically. He's just showing up a lot because he's a good Pokemon. That's like saying Lando T. Lando T is like one of the most popular Pokemon in the world. No, that motherfucker is not popular because people like him. He's just good at he's just good in battles. Give it HA Intimidate. Yeah, but that was decided all the way back on Sun and Moon. That was decided back in Sun and Moon. Intimidate makes sense for him anyway. How could it not? He's definitely not a min-max doubles Pokemon, but he fucking works out really hard for it. They put him in Smash. They did, didn't they? They did do that. Why did they do that? I don't understand why they did that. Maybe it's just because he was unique. I think it's because they wanted new Pokemon representation, and he was the best one for it because the other one is an owl, and the other one's a fish. So they went with the buff cat. And the buff cat was a wrestler, so he could do more things than the fish or the bird. They wanted Decidueye, but it was already in Pokken. Oh. You know, I forgot that Pokken came out around that time. In fact, what the fuck is even in Pokken as a playable character? I do not know the Pokken roster. I know Chandelure is in there because Chandelure is in there. I know Suicune's in there. I do know that. I know Suicune and Chandelure. That's about it. Pretty sure there's Pikachu and Pikachu Libre, so like Ryu and Ken. Krogunk, really? Aegislash, really? Darkrai, really? Was there DLC for this game, or was this all base roster? DLC. Okay, that makes more sense. Evil Shadow Mewtwo. Yes, I remember Mewtwo. He had an orange crystal growing out of his shoulder. I actually don't know what gameplay of that game is like. I know Braixen. Everybody knows Braixen. Braixen simultaneously invigorated the game's competitive scene and then also completely and utterly killed it. But it wasn't really Braixen's fault. It wasn't Braixen's fault. She didn't do anything. It was the guy behind the sticks. That's where the trouble came in. What are you doing here? Go away, I'll make you leave. I don't know what Pokken's gameplay consisted of. I've heard people say that it's basically rock, paper, scissors. But, like, I feel like when people say that, they're saying that specifically because the mechanics are so simplified that it's easy to look at it just like that. Brakeson was an all-rounder that got played like a zoner back then. Oh, that doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the guy who won that big tournament with Brakeson, and then he announced his motivations for doing so. Wasn't a good move. Wasn't a good move. The counter hit system is RPS based. Isn't Killer Instinct the same? Then again, I do not know what's going on in Killer Instinct at all, so that I could be talking out of my ass. You'd never know. Well, you would know instantly. Isn't Killer Instinct the same? Like, there's a bunch of really long combos, but if you pick the right low, medium, high, you can break it. But if you pick wrong, you get counter breakered, and you can't. Now you have to eat the whole fucking combo. I have no idea how the system actually works. I just know that sometimes I hear combo breaker, and sometimes I hear counter breaker, and then the motherfucker gets fucked up. Killer Instinct is really neat to watch, but that game, I feel like that game was a little doomed because it was Xbox One exclusive. It looked cool, got a lot of DLC, it had people playing the game, but I don't know what the state of that game is because it was locked to exclusivity, which is a damn shame. Mach Punchy. I think it would have done better if it wasn't Xbox exclusive. Have you seen how many games have been Sony exclusive that are like just losing sales because they're locked behind a $5,000 system that doesn't have any other games to play? I'm pretty sure most of Sony's like exclusivity contracts have not been renewed. Like, didn't Square just straight up say they don't want to develop solely for the PlayStation anymore? They keep putting their Final Fantasies on the PS5 exclusively, and then the games don't sell that well. Not because they're bad games, but because nobody has the system to play them, and nobody wants to buy a $600 Final Fantasy machine. Sony decided they're not going to port their big games to PC anymore. Yeah, that'll show them. That'll show the PC gamers, right? How dare you leave us? You know what's funny? Nintendo has been doing that since Nintendo first made the fucking Game & Watch. Nintendo has not released their games on anything but Nintendo systems since they started making video games. And we're all just kind of chill with that. Well, I think some people aren't chill with that. Some people are upset that Nintendo makes their own games and doesn't release them on cross-platform. Damn. CDI. Yeah. Yeah, CDI was the first and last. First and last. Don't forget Bloodborne's spiritual successor is coming out on the Switch 2 exclusively. I don't remember what that was called. You're not ruining our plans here. Why are you in the lighthouse? Glitter Lighthouse. That's boy. That sounds right. I don't actually know. Maybe the games are allowed exclusivity. No, they are. I know they are. But, like, the difference between Sony and Nintendo is that Nintendo, like, consistently puts out first-party titles. And despite their numerous business practices being kind of shit whenever they do well, they do make fun games that are enjoyable and engaging. And so there's actually worth buying their systems because you know there's going to be the only thing they're going to make is they're going to make in-house games, and there's going to be a lot of people who want to put their games on the system as well. Whereas for Sony, what does Sony have as an IP that you want to play? Nintendo has like tens of individual IPs. You can just look at like fucking Smash Brothers and you can see various different IPs that they can pull from to make games for their system. What does Sony have? And before you say anything that you played when you were 12 to 15 years old, That's not Sony anymore, brother. Alright? Everything that you think of at the top of your head when I say Sony IP, Sony doesn't respect those IPs anymore. Alright? There's no Ratchet. There's no Clank. There's no Sly. There's no Jack. None of it. There's no Ape. None of it. None of it. It's all gone. Those are not Sony IPs that they can make anymore. They just let that shit rot in the grave. To the grave. Crash is not dead. Well, I mean, Crash is dead, but they like Naughty Dog likes to dangle his corpse in front of you whenever they make announcements for games. From the creators of Crash Bandicoot. No. No, no. The studio that brought you Crash Bandicoot. Yeah. They're just waving, they're waving a skin suit at you to be like, you should check us out. By the way, Summer Games Fest is like next week. So, hope you guys are ready. Hope you guys are ready. It's this Friday? Oh, shit. More Hina. That's right! Hina Game Fest! Friday, Hina! What time is it? Is it 4 hours? Is it the usual time that I start? Or is it start at like 8 or some shit? Like, I don't know what time it is. I'm pretty sure it's more of a day event, isn't it? Yeah, a lot of studios do that though. A lot of studios will put up the corpse of a successful title in the hopes that you'll take the bait and you'll buy from the studio. But the people who worked on the game, they're parading around as the creators of the game. They don't work there anymore. Like, I don't care if Obsidian made Fallout New Vegas, and I don't care if I like New Vegas and have put hundreds of hours into it. I'm not buying Outer Wilds 2. Never. I ain't doing it. Sorry, not Outer Wilds. Outer Worlds. Outer Wilds is a different game. I'm not buying your shitty fucking game. The creators of Left 4 Dead. Yeah. Turtle Rock Studios. Yeah. You know what's funny? Is there was a video on that. There was a video on that comparing the two. It was made by Cropecat. And Cropecat made a lot of videos that were very show don't tell, where he just kind of he just took interview examples, gameplay examples of the two and put them together. That guy was kind of a hero to a lot of people. And then he made a video on RE4. Oh man. Oh man. He made a video on RE4 and he got fucking blasted for it. And you know what's funny? He made another video on RE4 not too long ago and doubled down. He doubled down on it. Oh my god. It was not a very good video. I was watching a streamer react to it. It was essentially 50 minutes of the same 4 guys complaining about the game. Like, it's not even an exaggeration. The amount of clips he actually had from different sources on, like, complaints to the game was very small. It's the kind of video that when you watch it, it reads like, I'm not bothered by the criticism that I got from the first video, except he makes so many little nods to the criticisms to his first video that you can tell he's really fucking bothered by the criticism to his first video. So, yeah. I can't believe he doubled down on it. Because at first, he originally changed the name of the video he made. And then, yeah, no, a couple weeks ago, a month or two ago, he made another video on it. He like, at this point, it's been like years since that original video, so bro is mad. So I mean, it did what it needed to do, I guess. It got attention, but like, yeah. Definitely one of those moments where bro wasn't ready to be the minority on it, and he didn't know how to handle it. He went from a hero who exposes bullshit to a whiny bitch. And he never really recovered on it. RE4 Remake is one of my favorite games. This is genuinely one of the best remakes I've ever seen, I've ever played. It's extremely faithful to the source material, uncampifies it and makes it a serious story, has very good gameplay. It's a very fucking good remake. The original RE4 is a great game as well, but some of the reasons why people think the remake is bad is because it's not a one-to-one copy of the original. I have actually heard legitimate criticism that some of the stuff they cut, they shouldn't have cut. One of those things being when you're running away from U3 in the floating fucking, like, crane section. Like, really? That's the part you're upset about getting cut? The part where you have to run through all these fucking elevated storage containers as Leon, and you have to dodge an invincible U3 who forces you to do a bunch of QTE dodges, and then you gotta run around him. That's the part? You really wanted that part in the game? Really? Just play the original. Well, yeah. Some people are really passionate about it, but I think it's a very, very good game. I think they understood that they weren't allowed to fuck it up because of how beloved the original was, and so they didn't fuck it up. Plain and simple. I think the gunplay in RE4 Remake is very, very fun. It's probably one of the best randomizer type games to get because the enemy variety is quite good, and the gun variety is good enough, and just the overall combat flow is very engaging. It's very enjoyable. It's a pretty long game. It's got a lot of substantial like size to it. It's a good time. It's a good time. I recommend it. I strongly recommend it actually. Tiukari. There's this kind of this thing with you with remakes and remasters and whatnot, and that if a remake is basically the original game, there was no point in remaking it. But if a remake differs from the original game, then it gets criticized for changing things that were in the original game. So you don't really win. There's always going to be one side that complains one way or the other. Change something, you shouldn't have changed it. Change nothing, you should have changed it. This isn't the same side complaining regardless. This is two different... You can't please everybody. You can't please everybody. Some of the things that like people use to say that the original RE4 is better is... It's pretty nonsense. It's pretty nonsense. It's the kind of like rose-tinted nostalgia goggles that refuses to accept anything but the original to the point where you have to really convince yourself that the remake is inferior for reasons, but not just inferior to you in terms of enjoyability, but just inferior on a technical level, that anybody who enjoys the remake should feel like a lesser human because the original is better in my opinion. Some games, I don't like when remakes come out and the original games disappear. I know that the only example I can give you on that off the top of my head is Dark Souls. When Dark Souls Remastered came out, they pulled the Prepare to Die edition off of Steam, so no, it was no longer available. That's kind of scummy. When the Pikmin games got remade for Switch, I believe Pikmin 3, when it got us Pikmin 3 Deluxe, they increased the price or delisted Pikmin 3 on the Wii U. I don't remember what they did, but they pulled some of that shit with Pikmin as well. I did battle you. Sonic kinda did that. What the fuck did Sonic do? The only thing I know about Sonic is that Sonic Team hates when people not named Sonic Team create interesting game mechanics. If Sonic does a new cool ability, it has to come from Sonic Team's creative planners. Even if you got this far, the Commander's a whole nother league. You can't stop Team Rocket. It's you again, aren't you? Just the most annoying little thing. Why did that guy not battle me? The league will pay a fortune to get both the gym leader and their champion back. Okay. Yakuza did it as well. Oh yeah, Kiwami 3, I forgot about that. Is Yakuza 3 delisted? Did they delist the original Yakuza 3? I have it on Steam. Can I never get it back? Is it gone forever? Because Kiwami 3 is out. Is Kiwami 3 the same game? Is it still the same issues as the last one? PMD got a remake years later. Red Rescue Team got on VC. Yeah. Yeah. And I missed. This is a problem. One of the original Yakuza, you have to buy the massive bundle. Well, the creative director on Yakuza left Sega, didn't he? I don't know when he left Sega. I think it was either before or after Like a Dragon, yeah? But he's currently making the Korean version, starring that other guy. I guess he got fed up with it. Are you a Faith type? I don't remember. Kiwami 3 removes side stories and retcon stuff. So what did it add? That game is dead. What? What happened? What? What do you mean it's dead? What happened? What? They lost funding. What? Funding dried up. What do you mean funding dried up? How much money did they have when they made the trailer? How much money were they expecting? Did they have a Kickstarter? I'm gonna crash into you. They deleted the game page. 40 million USD. NetEase cut funding. Why? They wanted 40 million more and ran out. Oh. $40 million. He asked for $40 million and he got told to go fuck himself. Shit, bro. He should have went to Kickstarter. He should have went to Kickstarter. Oh, I was gonna click Nasty Plot because I thought you were gonna full restore. I'm glad I didn't. I could have just fucking threw the match there. The entire company shut down. Everything's deleted, and the office is listed as closed permanently on Google. Wait. So they went straight up bankrupt? Or bro is just like, alright, fuck you, and just like tuxedo masked out. I didn't kill. Well, that's fine. Like, surely the game not making the funding doesn't mean their entire company has to go. I mean, maybe it does because they ran out of money. They can't, you know. Wow. Goshi made Monkey Ball. Yes. He made Monkey Ball, and then he made Yakuza, and then now he's making a break for it. You've beaten me 3 times. Archer's gonna be mad. I'm bungling. You okay? The Chibi Snai has a look of concern for the ill Notori. Notori is dying! Hello, thank you for your help. They got the jump on me. There's still a rather large problem. There's a place that sells strong medicine. Please go get it. Yeah, I gotcha. So, any other stories of developers like that? Now, obviously, we can talk about the guy who made Sonic, quote unquote, because that guy's in prison. He's funny. There's the guy who made Mega Man. He's not in prison, but by all rights, he probably should be. There's Iga. There's Iga. Another story, a hilarious story about Yuji Naka. What could he have possibly done now? He's in prison. He's already in prison. Yeah, Iga had a very successful launch with the Bloodstained games. I know some people think the Bloodstained games are a little lacking, but I think they're pretty good for what they are. You gotta remember, it's a Kickstarter game, right? He didn't have fucking Konami's funding. Hey, the area's restricted. Yeah, whatever. I think that the game is pretty fun. The 2D ones are cool as well. Curse of the Moon, the 1 and 2. I don't think I played 2 actually, but Curse of the Moon 1 was pretty cool. And that was a Kickstarter stretch goal. We're on a lookout for Lost Bonica. We'll clear when we find her. Well, let me go look. There was an interview with an American Sega guy who worked there in the late 90s, early 2000s, and he told a bunch of stuff. What kind of stuff? Listening to is in production. I figured. I was talking about Circle of the Moon 2. That one I think was harder than... Curse of the Moon. The continuity of the 2D ones and the 3D ones are different, right? I enjoyed the game. I thought they were fun. I've never had a desire to play through the game again, mind you, but I did enjoy it. I think if I ever wanted to play a Castlevania again, I'd want to play one of the original ones. That's all. Story where he wanted to name Billy Hatcher Giant Cock. He is literally the most miserable person I have ever worked with in games or anything else in my life. Just a horrible human being, and you can quote me on that. As you know, he is also now... He's now also a convicted felon. Did he give examples? That's crazy. That's a crazy quote. And in the quote, he says, you can quote me on that. And you can quote me on that. Quote. Crazy, dude. Some people got their heads up their asses. You can never really know what's going on. Any more? You got any more? You got any more? That's funny. I want to know more. I want to know more. We want to come up with a new Mario Killer mascot character. We want everyone to come up with an idea. I watched them pick the winners. I watched Yuji Naka steal credit for it. Oh. Oh. I watched him steal credit for it. How do you steal credit for that? Like, wouldn't somebody else speak up? Or is it one of those situations where he was higher up and due to seniority respect, like whoever actually designed it just kind of didn't? Same way Inafune is the father of Mega Man. Do you remember before Mighty Number 9 came out, he started a Kickstarter for another series that was supposed to be a spiritual successor to, I believe, Mega Man Legends? I think that Kickstarter got pulled after Mighty Number 9's launch. But didn't Yuji Naka create Knights? Or is Knights created by someone else? Or is Knights also stolen by him? Yeah, Red Ash. Yeah, that one. I definitely saw a video on it. Mighty Number 9 has like 4 hours of credits. Partly hearsay. During Sonic 2's development, Naka was so frustrated by the English side of STI, he split the whole team between the Japanese members and American ones just so he didn't have to deal with the language barrier. He then did absolutely nothing for the American side of STI during the Saturn's development, presumably because he wanted them to crash and burn for not speaking his language. I remember people talking about that the relationship between International and Japan for Sega was really bad. And that's why there was a lot of, like, the Sega Saturn in particular suffered for it. The Sega Saturn really suffered because they just, the two branches of the company just were not, they weren't friends. But Sonic, when Sega's Golden Goose was Sonic, and you got to work with the Sonic Man, and the Sonic Man says, no, I don't work. Japan team worked on Sonic 3 and such. American team worked on Sonic Spinball. Oh no! Oh no! That's that. Wait, which one made Sonic 3D Blast? Which one made Sonic 3D Blast? I feel like I can already guess the answer here. Ah, Star. I saw him give an interview where he talked about why he decided to make Sonic Blue, and as you know, he wasn't responsible for any of that. That was all Naoto Oshima. Why did he make him blue? Why is he blue? Is it so he sticks out on the color on the screen? Or is he blue because the color blue is cool? Traveler's Tales. You know, I forgot that Traveler's Tales made that game. But didn't Sega have a hand in it? I guess it wasn't Sonic Team, was it? Fuck, man. I just remembered the Traveler's Tales logo popping up on that game. And I'm already confused, because, like, what are they doing making Sonic 3D Blast? What about Sonic Jump? See, the era of Sega where it was like, Sega! But for the 3D games, there was a dude who was just like, Sega! And then it, like, the logo just kind of dissipated. It goes from, like, oh, that's nice harmonious voice to someone just getting really fucking mad at you. And it's like, whoa, jeez. They also did Sonic R. Okay, but Sonic R is one of the best, worst games ever created. Okay? Alright, hop off my goat. Hop off my goat. Chuck, the gym leader. My husband's not home. He ran out of herbs. He has to gather more. Okay. That means fight the gym, asshole. In case you were wondering. Came from Olivine. You remember the 4 islands? There's a powerful Bonica hiding in them. Yeah. Mechanical Bonica. I heard a trader named Bronze found one in the 7 islands. Who? A bunch of weird noise in the sea caves. They sounded mechanical. Yeah. He's blue because Sega is blue. He's blue because that Sega's more or less official company color. His shoes were inspired by the cover to Michael Jackson's Bad, which contrasted heavily between the white and red. That Santa Claus type color. I also thought that red went well for a character who can run really fast when his legs are spinning. Oh, it did, yeah? Naga was the team leader, wanted credit for all the Sonic design decisions. Seems he had a lot of beef with the artist designer. Well, I mean, when the guy you're beefing with is the guy who actually made what you're famous for, you probably want him to choke on a rug and die. So then no one ever has to, like, think about that anymore. He sounds like a pretty bad person. I don't know about this guy. He sounds like a bad dude. There's people over here. Why is Mario red? I don't know, actually. Why is Mario red? During Sonic 06 development, Yuji Naka split the team, making the game create a unique one for the Wii who wouldn't be handled at 06, and later just left the whole project months before it was due. It took several key members of the team with him. He knowingly doomed the game by doing this. I do recall when I saw a video on Sonic 06 how there was an E3 demo for the 360, and when the final game came out, the E3 demo looked more complete than the final game. That is all true. So I'm assuming the Wii team went on to make Secret Rings based on the time frame. So how did he get to take members from the team? They want to make 06 for the Wii, realized that shit was not going to happen, and we're like, okay, make a whole new game instead. And that was Secret Rings. Secret Rings is ass. He was the boss. But wouldn't the higher-ups be like, why would you do this? The game is like 80% completed. Right? Like, he's not the CEO of Sega. Wouldn't the boss of the company see something like that and be like, why would you fucking do that? What is wrong with this guy? This guy's like a fucking cartoon villain, bro. This guy's a fucking cartoon villain. Sounds worse than Miyamoto. Well, Miyamoto just hates, like, he just hates specific things in video games. He doesn't hate video games or hate people. He just hates specific things in video games. He's definitely done a lot for video games, but sometimes you hear about the shit he is responsible for, and it's just like, Miyamoto, please stop. Please exit the room. He was more into doing Knights. Yeah, but Knights, nobody gave a shit about Knights. Oh, right. Ball and Wonder World was him, wasn't it? Huh. You want even less story for the Mario movie. Yeah. What did you think a movie is? Does Miyamoto not know what a movie is? Less story for the Mario movie. The fuck kind of how less story can you take? It's literally just a movie where Mario goes from Brooklyn to the Mushroom Kingdom and saves the day. Like, unless the movie literally starts and he's just running right in 1-1 and the movie ends when he beats Bowser in 8-4 and there's no dialogue except for Toads. Wait, actually? I don't know. Hold on. I'm kind of weaving a tale right now. The best movie ever made. Well, I'm here now. I like that people theorize that because Miyamoto was so busy overseeing the Mario movie, that a lot of games that came out during his development were better because he was not involved in the process in any way, shape, or form. I don't know what exactly those games are. You'd have to look at a list, but I do remember people's, like, not like saying that seriously, I suppose, but people were definitely making jokes about that. We're like, wow, these games are actually good. I guess that's what happens when fucking Miyamoto's got his Wrangler on him. Johto League Reception Gate. Excuse me? It's released to Victory Road. What the hell? Okay. Don't diss the Mario Party 1 story. That game led Kojima to making games. Mario Party 1 story is not really a story at all. The story is everybody gathers one day and then Toad's like, hey, which one of you guys is the best guy? And they're all like, me, pick me, it's me. That's the whole story. I said, Mario 1, where did you see Party? Oh, where did I see Party? Huh. I must have put that in there on my own. Good job. Whenever I miss high jump kick, it makes me just want to skip to the next turn. Yuki. Miyamoto's just a bit of a rigid guy. The difference is, it's not that other people aren't rigid, it's that we know about the quirks of the ones... We know about the quirks of the people who have their hands in some of the most prolific games. Those are the quirks we learn about because they're the creative directors. Their quirks, their ideas, their ambitions are the ones that are directing the game flow, hence why they're in the creative director role, right? So we know about Miyamoto and his special quirks because he's the one telling people who are making the game what to include in it. What not to include in it. The new Star Fox has scary looking characters. However, I have to say that Andrew looks pretty handsome. Straight up. Go look at a picture of him. He looks like a piece of shit angry baboon monkey kid in like every piece of media, and in the new game he looks like a grown man. He looks like a sophisticated grown man. He's leaned back in his chair, no smile, you know, half amused face. He's just chilling in his fucking Arwing. I couldn't help but look at him and be like, damn, he kind of smooth. Like, he ain't even bad looking. But in other Star Fox media, he just looks like an angry child. And he kind of is. Pigma looks fine. Pigma looks like what you'd expect Pigma to look like. But some of them are kind of weird. I think Falco looks kind of bad. That's a me opinion. I don't think Falco looks very good, especially when you see Falco with his legs. That shit does not look very good at all. A double edge. Still have the robot design for the Venom fight. Robot design? You mean the brain? The pinky and the brain. Yeah, I've seen some people say that the style of the new game is more in line with the Star Fox original SNES like box art, and I can kind of see it, but at the same time, like, I don't know if anthropomized animals flying spaceships needed to be more realistic, especially since, you know, the Mario movie like just came out, and DK's current new design that we saw in Bonanza is based pretty closely to the movie one, but then Star Fox shows up in the movie and he looks nothing like it. I have to assume the reason why Fox is even in that movie is because, well, they were developing Star Fox and they wanted to have some kind of advertisement cut in there. I didn't see the movie, so I don't even know the extent of how long Fox was in the movie or if it was more than just Fox himself. Star Fox 64, the refight against Star Wolf has them partially mechanized. Oh, that's what you meant. Okay. Yeah, that only happens if you fight them on Venom Side B. But the thing is, there's 3 matches against, there's 3 matches you can do against Star Wolf. The first time you fight Star Wolf is on the 3rd mission, but you can actually avoid that mission. Like, you don't have to do that mission, and they'll still show up mechanized. But the thing is, that mission's on a timer, so if you don't kill Star Wolf, like if you shoot all of Star Wolf down, you're good. If you don't shoot them all down and the UFO forces you to vacate, if you get to the defense satellite outside of Venom on side A, the remaining members of Star Wolf that you didn't shoot down will actually come back and defend the guard satellite. It's actually really cool how many different things kind of affect the route of Star Fox 64. But no, if you do the true ending route, you can avoid every Star Wolf fight until the very end, where they're mechanized, and you're just having a dogfight over the Venom chamber. But I think for most people, their first playthrough, they are going to fight Star Wolf, because in order to get off the route from fighting Star Wolf, I think you have to do the waterfall boss, which you probably wouldn't even know to do on your first playthrough, and I think you have to get 150 hits on the 2nd level to steer your course through Sector X. Like, I think you have to be pretty decent at the game to avoid them on the first run. A trainer, if you beat the gym, come see me. I'll give you something nice. 2nd level is the warp zone. Wasn't that Sector X? Because Sector Z is the missile defense mission, and that one's right before Area 6. And if you fail that one, you get forced to the guard satellite. The only way to get to Area 6 is either through Sector Z, no missiles that hit the Great Fox, or you blow up the supply train on the train map in the middle. Now, that said, something interesting is that if you get hit by the missile, if the Great Fox takes hit by a missile, it gets one of its wings blown out. And that wing blowout actually persists in the ending cutscene when you beat the game. That's kind of neat, huh? Some attention to detail, that one. Cosplayer? Nice day, I'm gathering herbs. Can't make anything with no stuff to make. 'Cause 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 Suika seem to be fighting. Valley of Strength. Beware wild Suika. I don't remember any of these areas existing last time I played. No one gets the asteroid field warp on their first playthrough. That's different. Because the asteroid field is the second level that you get. I don't remember where that fucking spits you out at, but I know that you can go 2 ways from level 1, and you can avoid because the level where you originally fight Starwolf is where Bill appears. No, it's not. Sorry, it's not. No, the level where Bill appears is further up, and if you help him, he shows up in the 4th level, which is usually the garbage sea one where you fight the big tanker. I'm curious how I'm kind of curious how the Landmaster will work. And I'm curious how the Sun Planet will look, and the underwater level. Also, the level that you can only access if Slippy runs into the robot and gets slapped. I don't have much information on that level, but I do remember it being very difficult for me. I really want to see what the boss looks like. Because the boss was some kind of freakish skeleton thing. But genuinely, I don't think I ever played that level more than like the one time that I fought the robot and like, Slippy got hit. Because it's really not hard to kill that robot before Slippy fucks up. Or you can just kill Slippy yourself, so you don't have to worry about it. You're the Kanto champion. Same with the Sun Bioweapon. I'm very curious to see what the game looks like. Because I do think Star Fox 64 is a pretty damn competent game. And it'll be neat to see what other aspects of the world are, you know, and if there's actual, like, cinematography to it, more story cutscenes. I'm actually curious to see how well this game kind of flows together and tries to create, like, a narrative. Yeah, the between scenes. They teased a prologue bit with Pigma and James and Peppy. They teased something with that. I don't know if that was just a cutscene explaining what happened, or if that was actually something you could kind of play as well. They're also doing something with multiplayer as well, so well, I hope it's good. It comes out in 24 days. The final Starwolf battle is really hard when you have no teammates. I think the problem that most people run into is that Area 6 is fucked. So Area 6 just flat out kills all of your guys, and now you're doing a 1v4. And a 1v4 means they're all shooting at your ass, and you have to keep doing big turns to get behind them, fire a bullet, and hope they're not shooting you. When it's only Wolf on your ass, you can pick off the other ones relatively easily. Like, they die pretty fast. They do die relatively fast. It's just you can't get a good shot on them most of the time. And when their specific targets aren't alive, they all just rush Fox. So you're just fucking driving. You're driving a 4v1, and it's just not gonna work. I'll just poison. Never give up. Trust your instincts. Damn, you died. Add Moko. I'll do my best. Andros won't have his way with me. Good luck. That area is an oven. Don't go burning that R-Wing. He's General Pepper, not Sergeant. Star Fox is such an interesting series because when you look at its history, it has games. It has games. They have presence in Smash Brothers. But, like, I don't think there's any game out there that has effectively done the same thing that Star Fox has done, which is make the same game multiple times throughout different points in history. There's only one plot in Star Fox that's ever worth pursuing. Only one. And it's the first one. Oh yeah, the Rhythm Heaven game. Right, I forgot about that. That's gonna be one of the last releases for the Switch, right? That's coming out soon. That got revealed a long time ago. Splatoon Raiders, I do not care myself, but they dropped that one. I don't know if Nintendo's gonna have anything at Summer Games Fest. They probably won't, but they have some stuff for the summer, but they definitely need to have at least one more direct for their holiday lineup, which we will see at some point, I'm sure. We will see their holiday lineup, because usually you can assume it's a game. You can assume that it's a game that they want to pair up with a system to promote people from buying the system. Because they still have Mario Kart, obviously. Mario Kart Combo is a system seller, don't get me wrong. But for the Switch, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Smash Brothers. Those were both system sellers. And then the bundles, like Smash Ultimate came out in December. Pretty sure your ability is pure power, is it not? Smash came out in December, which is a little late for holiday season, I suppose, but kind of a perfect gift last minute, especially the bundle situation. Yeah, you have huge power. Mario obviously feels like it's much more of a system seller than Bonanza. Well, that's because it's Mario. DK is like, you know, like DK is not unknown, but it's Mario, man. There's probably not a single person who doesn't know Mario. He's that famous. And Mario Odyssey is pretty much the latest 3D Mario we've gotten, not counting Bowser's Fury. And it's a great game. It's a great game, don't you know? Nintendo definitely wants to bundle its multiplayer games with systems, though, because that's the easiest way to guarantee that your game has an online presence with the bundle, right? That just makes sense. If you're selling the console with the game, it means that at the very least they will have this one game, so there will always be people playing online. Mario Kart is never going to be a dead game. It's just not. Smash Ultimate is is currently in a position, mind you, but it's far from a dead game. It only feels like a dead game because they fucking region locked the online, which is probably for the best considering the netcode, but if you live in a sparse region, you might run into the same 5 guys because no one's playing that hard anymore. Our new Smash Brothers is on the way, boys. It'll come out when I'm 32 years old, I'm sure. And I'll pull up to the local, and I'll see a bunch of people half my age playing the new Smash Brothers, and I'll think to myself, man, when I started playing Smash 4 competitively, I was like their age. Holy shit. Are you old, streamer? Old enough. I'm old enough. There will be a direct some point. We know there will be because there has to be. Don't they usually do one in August, or am I just like making shit up? The thing is, like, fucking, they don't hype their directs up over long periods. They know. Nintendo is so fucking aware of how much buzz the Nintendo Directs generate that they literally just announce that they're gonna do one within like 3 days of doing one. Cause it doesn't matter. Because if people be like, oh dude, there's gonna be a Direct 24 hours from now. People are gonna watch it. Like, oh, I don't have time, I gotta go. So no, they're watching it. They're putting that shit on. Like, Nintendo has that kind of control over viewership with their announcemements. They know that. They can announce that shit whenever they want, and people will be there regardless. We show up. The Star Fox Direct was announced 5 minutes before it started. See what I mean? You see what I mean? They know. They know people were watching that shit. They know that people were gonna watch that shit. Wahaha! You've come this far. Let me tell you, I'm tough. I can shatter stones and shatter bones. How about a scone? Why are you black? Lyrica. Oh, right, dream types. I was like, that is not a fighting type. I guess I'll just crash into her. Oh, that's annoying. Boink. You're faster than me. Or you have Prankster. I think you have Prankster. But I don't care, because I'm just going to keep clicking this button until one of us die. You have Prankster. You definitely have Prankster if you have 2 non-attacking moves. I heard about Star Fox being in the Mario Galaxy movie because people kept talking about it despite the movie not have coming out yet. Isn't that crazy? How did that happen? I don't know. How does that happen? I mean, I'll see that movie at some point, but I don't really care to go out of my way to watch it. It's alright, I'm just gonna keep crashing into her until one of us dies. Oh, you actually don't have Prankster. You're just faster than me. And I missed the most important Flare Blitz of the entire game. How the fuck are you faster than me? My eyes are starting to hurt. I'll be going to bed soon because I've been up for a while, but yeah. I know. Click Nightshade. I'm impressed by this thing's raw speed stat. I did not bring Satori, which was simply a foolish idea. Ah, Reimu. How about a crit? Soar. She's pretty fast. If this doesn't poison, I'm resetting, because I don't think I win from this position, because I can't kill you. Okay, that's not gonna kill you. Yeah, okay. If this poison doesn't kill her, I lose. I just straight up lose. I can't hit her anymore. Yeah, that's game. That is a game. Yeah, okay. That's a game-losing position there, because he's going to full restore, and I cannot reasonably do that much damage. So we're gonna respect the team and go in with an answer to a problem that gets out of hand like that. Okay. Well, I do know that he leads with Lyrica. If he wants to substitute, I'll break it. If he wants spikes, I'll kill her. Alright. Let's do this again. I know she's Dream. I don't know what her other type is. I assume it's Flying based on the fact that she's weak to lightning. So she's Dream Flying. That would make sense to me. She's weak to Dark and weak to Wind. Which means she is weak to Moko's Steel Fist. But Moko was dead. Alright. Sub. Yep, there's the sub. If I miss, we're gonna go to a different world where I don't miss. Okay. He always tries sub turn 1 just in case. Then he's gonna throw up a layer of spikes and I'm gonna get away unscathed. I'm gonna get away unscathed. Die. You have been crushed. I think I'm going to kill Reimu with this. I don't think Steel Fist kills him one hit. But the problem is I don't have anything that really hits her super hard, so she's just gonna full restore after using like Tailwind or some shit, and then I'm just dead. That needed to hit me. Wait, that might kill you. Wow. Wow. Well. I see. This fine. This is fine. Don't forget that I'm like 19 levels below her. But that is a position where I know she won't potion and I can kill her. That worked out only because she missed. Okay, whatever. Renosuke. He's a steel type. He's Steel Dream. Kane Stain isn't bad, but I might want the Intimidate. But I think he's a special attacker, so I think I'll just come in and crash into him. I know he's Dream. He's not an especially dangerous puppet. Moko can hit herself. That's her most reliable option. All right, Shizuha, you're up, and we're gonna play a loser's game here. Who's last? Oh no, that's okay. That's one I would want a Destiny Bond. Take a nap. Oh no, here we go. Oh boy. Yeah, should have went for lead seed first. This is gonna be a war of attrition. He's gonna double team and he has 4 full restores. I think I'm better off burning for Chip. This is actually what we're about to be doing. We're gonna +6 double team, and then he's gonna full restore 4 times. And I'm gonna have to shake his hand for a match well fought. And there's the flamethrower. Oh, I crit her. I win. I win. Shizuha gets another crit. Another critical fucking crit to end the game. Wow. She did this in another gym as well. I don't remember which one, but she did the same thing. Because now she dies of the burn. Insane. What a fucking MVP. What an MVP. What? I lost? How about that? Storm. Be proud, not every trainer has one. Shows that you beat me. You didn't have the Thunder Badge, let you use Fly. Don't lose it now, you hear? A loss is a loss. I'm gonna train 24 hours a day. Tell him which gym badge you should take this. Rainbow Shard. Cool. That's good since he was getting a little chubby. Okay. The Lighthouse Bonica is in trouble. Only offer it in an emergency. Such a compassionate man. Alright. Well, boys, let's head back home. Is what I would say if Genji was in the party. You know it would be diabolical? If you needed HMs to reach the Elite Four. So what I mean by that is like in order to actually enter the state where you can face the Elite Four, you need to use every HM. So you're guaranteeing at least one Pokemon on your team is virtually worthless because of how many HMs you need. Oh, sorry, if you want to face this Elite Four member, you have to surf over to where they're standing. But there's no PC. But surf's a good move. Oh, sorry, this guy's behind a cut tree. So you need to use cut if you want to get to fight this Elite Four. But, like, cut's a bad move. Oh, well. I mean, the Elite Four only has 5 Pokemon. Maybe you should too, asshole. I'm surprised Kaizo never did something like that. Probably has to do with the fact that there's no way out of the room at that point, so you would completely ruin your save. You would have to create some kind of option for them to leave. But you could theoretically put HM requirements in the way and force the player to have them. The thing is that the player would never know what they need unless they were told ahead of time. Heads up, if you want to face the champion, you'll have to break a cut tree down. What? Why? Funny. Because it's funny, I laugh. Hee hee hoo. Oh, okay. Are you laughing now? Chat, have any of you seen Platinum Kaizo? I asked because that shit's been out for a while, and I have, like, I don't have any interest in playing it. I have no interest in playing it. But I know it's out. I know people have played it. But, like, Emerald Kaizo was it for me. That was the end of the line for me on that one, boys. Lucky Chant. Special defense rose sharply. All right. And let's work on my additional win con. Yep, you're clicking amnesia. You're clicking amnesia, so I'm clicking other moves too. Do you know what Run and Bun is? I have no idea what Run and Bun is, but I know it was a popular challenge for like a couple weeks. I don't care about Pokemon challenges. I don't think they're that interesting to watch anymore. And that's mainly because you're not really watching somebody play Pokemon. You're watching somebody play Damage Calculator for an hour and then put it into practice in the Pokemon game. And that's not really my idea of filler content. I'd rather put something else on. Personally, it ain't my cup of tea. I mean, we've already talked about this before, but I think Kaizo Ironmon is one of the biggest wastes of time imaginable. Yet it somehow took off as a really popular activity. It is the opposite of fun. Yet here we are. Yet here we are. Don't you like when games are fun? Like, you ever just, like, play a game and you're just, like, having unabashed fun? Like, you're thinking about it, you're strategizing in it, you're just fucking having fun, dude. That's it. Pure, unsullied fun. You're sitting there with a smile on your heart. Not on your face, on your heart. And you're just like, man, you play a bunch, you go to bed, you're like, man, I want to play some more. Let me get up and game again. I love video games. You play a game like that? I've played games that I wish I was not playing after about 10 minutes of playing them. And I've played those on stream because I'm a fool. Eternal Darkness. I beat that game. I beat that game and I don't think I wanted to play any more of that game after the first 3 hours. And that's generous. And I think that game was 10 hours. I don't like that game. I like Rinriki. Rinriki was a lot of fun. I think that game was a lot of fun. I was looking forward to playing it again. There's some aspects to it that I'm a little worried about in the future. Blooming Soul was very fun too. I really got into that one. I really enjoyed that Euclid game. Neatroid. That game's great. Although, one of the color puzzles, I think it was in the extras or it was in the World 3, kind of fucked me up. Neatroid is a fun one. It's got a great OST as well. It's a good OST. I don't think it's rare to find games that are like really fun, mind you. But I do think that sometimes you play a game and you play through it and you just kind of feel hollow. Like you're playing through it, but like you finish it and then after like 3 days, you don't really remember anything. You don't care about anything. It's just something you like check off a mental checklist. Like, oh, I played that. But like sometimes with games, like you beat them and you still think about them, man. You're like, man, that game was great. I wish I could like play it again a different way. Maybe there'd be achievements or something. Maybe the story was really captivating and you actually enjoyed it a lot more than you thought you would. Right? Maybe it's like that. Maybe it's something you didn't really think you'd give a chance and then suddenly you're hooked. Lost Branch was kind of like that for me. Lost Branch looked cool, like, but I had no experience with that genre and I was quite worried that the genre was going to be really tough. And I did sit there and read every card and effect for like a long time. My first run took over 3 hours. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. And as a result, I keep playing that game because it's awesome. Fantasy Maiden Wars, I knew I was going to be into that because I knew it was going to have a good, long, engaging story. I was worried about the gameplay part of that one. I was worried that the gameplay was going to be too much for me to handle and it was going to frustrate me and make me enjoy the story less. So the first time I played Fantasy Maiden Wars was on easy mode because I was actively trying to avoid that. And easy mode went well, and then I played on normal with the complete box, and normal mode went well as well because I had informations. Plays better than modern SRW. Well, all the money's in the budget. All the budget's in the animation. That's why. Fantasy Maiden Wars is a game that I think is very fun. I played that game for hours. I've effectively beaten that game twice, and both playthroughs are like 100 hours or so. And I'm already itching to go again for the new game plus stuff. Nice to fish alone. Like I'm already itching to return for Makara's bonus game. We're not doing it right now, but I will enjoy that. We're gonna let that get to a position in time where I actively want to enjoy the story again. Because I don't want to skip the story cutscenes, because I enjoy them. I do. But I'm mostly there for the new game plus stuff. I don't know who I'm choosing for my new game plus Bringover cast, but I'm probably bringing Yuka, Byakuren, and Shinki. Strictly because they have a lot of dialogue with characters, and they basically show up at the end of the game. I'd love to bring Hiso Tensoku, but if he doesn't have dialogue, it's probably not worth it. So I'm more interested in taking characters who have additional dialogue than characters that I want to bring. Because most of the characters I would want to bring, I'm going to end up using anyway. It's, or I'm gonna get them early enough and use them. The thing is, like, all of these units cost a lot, so I need to get the mod that removes the cost restriction so I can just get the dialogue. I don't care about playing under the cost requirement, I just care about the dialogue. And also getting the 50 kills for MVP, which shouldn't be that hard. That shouldn't be that hard to do because pretty much every character you get from the third game onward already has 40 kills. The only one I think I'm gonna have to work on is like fucking Nitori or Kurumi. Kurumi might take some time. So yeah, I need I wanna bring what about Tenshi or Iku? I'm thinking characters who don't join you to the last game, right? Koishi as well, right? Dai has some kills under her belt. I can definitely get some easy kills with Dai. She'll just clean up a lot of she'll just end up cleaning up a lot of the early game. Tenshi does, but not Iku. Makes sense. Is it just them? Is it just them? So that's Shinki, Yuka, Byakurin, Hiso Tensoku, and Tenshi. Oh, what about the Moon Ladies? What about Yorihime and Toyohime? I'd assume they'd have dialogue when you do the Moon chapter yourself. Because you do fight Yorihime in that one. I'll stay in for Eren. I think that Iku's kind of an unfortunate character because you only really get to use her herself for one chapter, and then she's kind of designed to support Tenshi really well. But she's also a good unit aside from that. But there's a couple units that they join you in a position where it really feels like, for a first playthrough, they're telling you to pair up, and then they become backpacks. I feel that way about Satori and Koishi, Orin and Oku. Ichiden and Murasa. Where the hell is this? What? Oh. I'm back here. I'm back here. I didn't want to come here. Interconnectivity. We'll see if there's more mods. We'll see if there's more mods by the time that comes around. Like I said, I don't plan on doing that anytime soon. At the earliest, I would probably want to do it come October, like the year anniversary of the game's launch. But I might hold off longer than that. We'll see. Skomachi. The dialogue in that game is very fun. I like Rumia's dialogue. Rumia just says shit. Rumia is so fucking, like, uninvolved with the main plot or stakes of the game 99% of the time that whenever she gets in combat, it's just like, what are we doing? Did we enter a different world? There's a couple where she's pretty, you know, she has some legitimate dialogue, but for the most part, she's just kind of being herself, I guess. Come along, child. We have places to go. But, like, every time the game resets, she disappears and becomes an enemy for, like, a map. And then you get her back. You gotta keep smacking her upside the head. I ran out of Giga Drains. I ran out of Giga Drains. Rumia, Cherno, Mistia, Wriggle, Dai, the usual suspects. They usually pop off for a little bit and they're like mini bosses. They can be kind of annoying because Mistia and Rumia tend to hang out together, and they have S and Night, and Rumia creates night terrain. Thankfully, in Fantasy, in the complete box, they made it so characters all have naturally, and well, not every character, I don't think. But in the original game, Night Terrain, pretty much every human character had B rank in it. And if you had a B rank in Terrain, you took a penalty. But they changed it so Night is effectively just a buff. It's effectively just a buff that can be utilized by a couple characters. It's a little rare. But in the original game, Night was like, if you don't have a Firefly gem, then you're playing at a disadvantage. Oh, okay. Well. Are there mirror match dialogues? I would assume so. Like, I assume when I reach the... Oh, okay. Bye. What? I can't believe this. I assume when I reach the chapter where you fight Sakuya and I put Yuka up to Yuka, Yuka will talk to Yuka and be like, hello, Yuka. And Yuka will go, oh my god, hi, Yuka. And then they will wave to each other. And there will be no violence. No violence. No violence. They would never engage in violence. Not her. She's a good noodle. I'm a good noodle. I would assume that most bosses have dialogue with themselves, though. I would assume that. Alright. Toyo Ime. I ran out of Giga Drains! I'm out of Giga Drains. I just assumed that they would probably comment on, they better, because I don't know how, like, if the characters in the dream really acknowledge Makrita, or if she's just kind of like a spectator, and her form isn't really tangible, or it's perceived as something slightly different. I don't know, because again, the entire concept of New Game Plus is Makrita and Miko run through the entire adventure that's whipped up from the memories of, it's whipped up from the memories of the other characters who were involved. But she also whisks away, like... She whisks, like, 6 people to experience it with her. I think it's their dream versions. I don't remember the specifics. It's been a while. Alright. Can I bring Goo? Should I bring Goo? Wait, will that be my 6? Am I bringing Byakurin, Shinki, Yuka, Tenshi, Hisotensoku, and Hisotensogu? Is that the play? We bring all 4? Because we don't get Flannery till like halfway into the 3rd game. And I do use her a lot. Because she's very strong. Should I bring her? Does she have boss dialogue? Or does she have cool dialogue? I bet she does. I like their story in the game, so I want to see what she says. I'd also want to see Remy's point of view on that as well, but I can't bring everybody. Anyway, chat. That's the mark. We've finished. We're back in Olivine, so now we have to beat Jasmine, and then we can head to Blackthorn. We have to beat Blackthorn. But we're making progress, don't you worry. But now my eyes hurt, so it's time for so long. Next time, more puppet.